Welcome back to another video. This is going to be different from the last videos as it is the year of the Xbox Game Pass, or now more commonly known as PC Game Pass, because I'm of course playing it on PC as usual. Nothing has changed. But yeah, this is a pretty interesting year because there's been a ramp up of how many games I played every video. Like in 2018, it's 32 games, if you saw that video. In 2019 with 47, then 61 in 2020, and now, wow, 123 games have been played last year. A lot of it in thanks to, of course, I'll just call it PC Game Pass. But yeah, so this video is going to be structured a little differently. Instead of going with like the games I played like the least to the most per year it was released, we're just going to go in the order I played these games, because that's kind of just how I did it with how I kind of like was keeping track. This time I kept notes throughout my gaming thing of just lists, and I think if I ever do one in 2022, I'll be even more prepared every time this video comes around. But you'll be like, it's March, so did it help? Maybe. I don't know. You'll have to tell me by the end. But yeah, so I'm going to come up with a rating system because we're going to go a lot faster through this. So pretty much basically, you know, double thumbs down. Start with the fun one. Double thumbs down. That's, don't bother. Like, so if you have Game Pass, you know, not even worth a download. Stay away from this game. Do not buy this game. You know, single thumbs down is going to be a little bit different. A lot of the games are going to be single thumbs down here. That just means the game wasn't for me, but it is still worth downloading if you have Xbox Game Pass, just to see if you like that kind of game. It could be something that you enjoy. Or, you know, get it on sale if it's on Steam if you don't have Game Pass. So that's what thumbs down is. Thumbs up means I like the game. I liked it. I either want to revisit it if I didn't have enough time, and it is definitely worth downloading to try it and buying it, like if it's on like full price, or if you can buy it like maybe 75% off, around kind of like that price point. And then of course the double thumbs up means I love the game and it's the best thing ever, and you need to download it and buy it full price right away. And yeah, so that's gonna be the basic rating system that we're gonna speed through here. Do speed reviews. There's a lot of games to go through, so we're gonna hit the ground running here. So out of those 123 games that I played, 102 of them were Game Pass games. That's a lot. My whole entire theology and how I play games and approach games has completely changed. I have become a patient gamer because I just play whatever's on Game Pass, and so I missed out on a ton of games. So here's a list of games that I really wanted to play and didn't get to. But you know, this is insane. This is the beauty of Game Pass. This is not sponsored. This is an unsponsored video. The beauty of Game Pass here. One of the games I was really looking forward to because I love Guardians of the Galaxy, but I also I played Marvel's Avengers. But dude, Marvel Avengers, was it? Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy is coming to Game Pass tomorrow. Today's the 9th. It is coming to Game Pass tomorrow, so we'll see how the editing goes for this video, because that game is showing up on Game Pass, and so it's just like these games that I missed are just making their way onto Game Pass, and it is phenomenal. Let's start off with where I left off in the last video, playing Yakuza Like a Dragon. Double thumbs up. It deserved my game of the year last year. Amazing game. I finished it. It is phenomenal. Play it. It is actually on Game Pass. It's on Game Pass now. Gris, I'm going to give this one double thumbs up. I squeezed this in at the beginning of the year. It is no longer, I don't have gameplay footage of it. It's no longer on Game Pass. But I squeezed that in right away. It's like you're playing in a painting. It's amazing. Valheim, I'll give this one thumbs up. A great game to play with friends. I didn't get into it as hard as they did, but it's a good game. It's a fun game, very like indie. And it's like one of those classic games where you don't need good graphics to have good gameplay and a good time. And that was a lot of fun to play it. Hellish Quart, I give that one a thumbs up. This is a really cool like physics-based sword fighting game. And it's pretty cool. I enjoyed it a lot. It's kind of like, there isn't really a lot of games kind of like this, so it was kind of refreshing to play something in this kind of style of game, and I love the medieval period, and I like swords. And so this game is just really fun to play every now and then. So I'm gonna do a bunch of games here: Forager, Void Bastards, Wizards of Legend, Children of Morta, Battle Chasers, Nightwar. I'm giving them all giving them all thumbs down. They just weren't for me, but I say they're still worth downloading if you want to download it. It's Game Pass, man. Download, uninstall, next game, right? Crusader Kings 3, I do want to revisit this, so I'll give it a thumbs up. I do want to revisit that game. All right, let's talk about The Medium. The Medium is one of those first Game Pass games I played this year, where it was like kind of like day one Game Pass game. And The Medium, this didn't get really reviewed very well by a lot of people, didn't really like it, but I actually really enjoyed it. I'm not a big on horror games, and this game is not very scary, so it's perfect. I definitely enjoyed my time with it. I liked the story, the atmosphere. The ray tracing is there, but you can't really control the camera because it's a fixed camera, so it's kind of just like you got to be lucky enough to be in the right spot to see that ray tracing and the beautiful reflections. Yeah, but The Medium, I'm gonna give this one a thumbs up. I didn't love it, but I really did enjoy it. And if you have Game Pass, there's no reason not to try this game out. It's not very long, it took me like 9 hours to beat it. So we played the Halo Master Chief Collection. So now that I have Game Pass, I can jump onto some of these games that my friends have. There's another game coming up too. It's not for me. Halo is just, I don't have the nostalgia. The only thing I played with Halo is with my cousins, you know, couch co-op, but that could be literally any game, like the James Bond game, like the GoldenEye. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, I want to like this game. I just suck so much at it. I'm just not good at it, but if you're good at this style of game, it's a beautiful, beautiful game. Really cool graphics on this one. Thumbs up, Age of Empires is a classic. Not a double thumbs up for me because I don't know, I won't play it by myself. Darksiders Genesis, it wasn't for me. It felt too twin stick shooty than an actual ARPG. Let's go with the last game of February here. This one is Control, which I played it on Steam, but it is on Game Pass. Not sponsored. It is on Game Pass. Control is double thumbs up. This is a really awesome game, all right? This is kind of like after I played, I remember last year I played Marvel's Avengers. This is like what Scarlet Witch would feel like in the Avengers, right? You're floating around, levitating. It is just so much fun to play it. There's so many different like powers. There's particle effects. The graphics are crazy. This is the ray tracing game to play. If you get your 30 series card, this is like when I got my 30. This is one of the first games I'm booting up to play because the ray tracing is insane in this, and it runs super well, it's just crazy. It's a really good game. Highly recommend playing it. Let's get into March. What games I played in March? Let's go with The Surge 2. I'm just not a Dark Souls player. There's a few of them. This is why I love Game Pass. This is why Game Pass is awesome. I got to play more Souls-like games to see how I do with them. I'm terrible. Dragon Quest, okay, Dragon Quest 9, don't hate me. I'm thumbing it down. I played it for 9 hours, wasn't having fun. Yakuza Like a Dragon completely spoiled me on turn-based stuff. I just wasn't into it at all. But I know it's a good game. I just couldn't get into it, and I have it doesn't get a thumbs up because I had no intention of going back to playing this game. My bad. All right, Neoverse. I'm almost gonna give Neoverse a double thumbs down. There's better roguelike deck building games. Like play Slay the Spire. I don't know why you would play Neoverse. Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice. I have no intention of coming back to this game. There's some motion blur issues. I just wasn't that into it, but I'm pretty sure it's worth downloading and trying it. Torchlight 3. I tried to get into it. This is another game that got saved because I didn't have to buy it on Game Pass. So let's get into some really cool stuff that we kicked off March with, where I was kind of putting it off because I just played Yakuza Like a Dragon. I wanted to give it some time, but I was kind of going through these other Game Pass games that I just wasn't getting into. So let's get into the Yakuza series, the Yakuza Remastered Collection. Spoilers, Game of the Year for me. Absolutely love the Yakuza series. Oh my god, okay? I played Yakuza 3, 4, 5, and I'm including Song of Life, Yakuza 6 in that Game of the Year category with the whole collection. And I played these things in order, and wow, I love it. I love it, love it, love it. It's amazing, the Yakuza series. If you're into it, I already talked about it a lot in the last videos, but Yakuza 3, Okinawa, really fun Islander stuff in that one. Super chill vibes with the orphanage. I love the story in that one. The combat is dated, but I'm already invested. Like I played 0, Kiami 2, Yakuza Like a Dragon. I was in it for the story there. Combat is, sub-stories are still great, so if you can get past the combat, put that on easy. Oh yeah, Yakuza 3, double thumbs up. Yakuza 4, single thumbs up. I really liked it. This is the first one where you have multiple protagonists. Really good game. I definitely enjoyed it, but it kind of dragged. The combat, I was not enjoying the combat at all, and this is coming straight after Yakuza 3, and so like, I had to it was a slog getting through some parts of Yakuza 4, but it's still story, great. Sub-stories, I kind of sped through this one, I'll admit, because it's a long one, and I wanted to get to the next games, which I'm glad I did, because the next 2 are amazing. Yakuza 5, amazing. This game is incredible. I think it doesn't quite make the top of the list because there's so many good games like Yakuza 0, Yakuza Like a Dragon, Yakuza Kiwami 2, and the next one, and then 5. So it's like the 5th. They're just so good. But double thumbs up on Yakuza 5. This is another one where you have multiple protagonists and you get to play as Haruka. I don't have gameplay of it because my save files are not on the cloud, so I could not record Haruka's part. But oh my god, her chapter is amazing. Kiru's chapter in the beginning, I am just a taxi driver. I am not I am not Yakuza. I am taxi driver. Amazing. Oh my god. This, if you're into the Yakuza series, man, do you have a treat on Game Pass right now. I don't know. I love it. I can't even objectively talk about this game because of how much I love the series. So in April, towards the end of April, there's another couple games I played in, but towards the end of April, I want to just talk about Yakuza 6. Double thumbs up, Yakuza 6. Then we're back in that new engine that Kiwami 2's in. I love this engine. It's super fun to play with in this one. The story, I think they could have done better. I think they could have done better with the story, just in my opinion. But forgivable because the rest of the game is fun. There's a lot of things to do in this one. There's like chill with your friends. You go to a bar, you chill with some dudes at a bar. Super great. I love that whole like side story. You got baseball. I was just like I usually don't like any of the baseball stuff. I actually really like the baseball management sim in this. A lot of fun. The spear fishing is great, and you got a much better clan management game. So play all of them, but it is like over 400 hours of Yakuza. So it's really like, if you like it, you're in for such a good time. But I wouldn't like force anybody to play it because if you're not into the series, there's just a lot of it to play. But if you are, double thumbs up for the Yakuza series. Double thumbs up. It is fantastic, absolutely amazing. Well, I'm throwing in. I did go back to Marvel Avengers. I don't know when I played it, but I played it this year. Played Kate Bishop. Played Hawkeye. I think it was early in the year. Played Kate Bishop. Played Hawkeye. Played Black Panther. I'm gonna thumb them up. They're fun campaigns. Really fun. Kate Bishop is really cool to play. Range character, multi-shot, a good time. But the game is still Marvel Avengers, so I don't know. Yeah, Path of Exile. Always gonna thumb Path of Exile up. We played that a little bit too. Injustice 2. I'm thumbing it down. I'm not coming back to play this game. Rage 2. I don't even bother. I don't think there's any redeeming factor with Rage 2. Don't even bother playing that game. But Fallout 76. I'm gonna thumb it up. I might go back to it. I think it's at a decent spot, but I wouldn't pay money for it. 2 Point Hospital, really amazing. Okay, 2 Point Hospital. I'm done with. I would have probably single thumbed it up, but this video is late, and blueprints are finally in the Microsoft version of the game. So double thumbs up for 2 Point Hospital. Super fun. What is it called? Like a sim game, management sim game. It's hilarious, right? It's like it has like just a funny twist. You zoom in onto the characters, they're doing silly things, like you're curing people of being like clowns or like have jazz hands. It's hilarious. It's a really fun game. The music is really enjoyable to listen to as you're playing. And I really enjoy this management sim. It's a really good game. I highly recommend you guys jump on this if you got Game Pass, or even buy it. I would buy it. And 2 Point Campus is coming out too pretty soon. So here's a game that I actually paid for. There's very few games I actually paid for this year. And we got Days Gone, double thumbing it up. It's a PlayStation exclusive showing up on PC. And this one, just like Horizon Zero Dawn, I absolutely loved it. I enjoyed the Walking Dead series, the first few seasons, right? And I love Sons of Anarchy, and this brings them together in perfect harmony. And it is just, I loved it, all right? Like, this is like, Days Gone belongs on PC. This is where you need to play Days Gone. I think there's some problems on the PlayStation, performance-wise and all that kind of, but it's a shooting game, right? Like, mouse and keyboard is where it's at, and it controls beautifully, just like Horizon Zero Dawn. Unlike Horizon Zero Dawn, this launched with barely any issues. I didn't have any problems, no crashes or anything like that. I didn't have to do like the struggle bus month of Horizon Zero Dawn of like just struggling to play the game, and by a month they finally fix it. Days Gone right out of the gate, killed it. Pretty much, if you like kind of like Daryl in The Walking Dead, you know, got your crossbow, got your bike, right? Then this game, you'll love this game. It's also a zombie game, but I didn't mind it. I thought it was it's just a good experience. I don't know. Buy Days Gone. I know this is not the very just in-depth analysis of games. There's just a lot of them to go through. I want to be pretty quick on this one, but Days Gone is incredible. I highly recommend you get it. I think it's super underrated. Almost game of the year. If Yakuza didn't exist, it would contend for my game of the year for 2021. All right, let's go to June. Lost Ark Technical Alpha. Yeah, it's fine. It's whatever. Frostpunk. I'm gonna thumb Frostpunk. It's not for me. It's not a city management game that I really got that much into. Forza Horizon 4. I'm just gonna give this one a thumbs down because there's another Forza game that came out that is way better. It got me into racing, so that one is gonna get a different rating. Battlefield 5, great game, really fun with friends. I liked it. All right, here we go. Dark Alliance is double thumbs down. Avoid. This game's terrible. Don't do it. Destroy All Humans, it wasn't for me. Single thumbs down. Star Wars is same with Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. It wasn't for me, but yeah, if you're into it, download it, play it. A lot of people liked it. Souls game, I still have to yet to play a Souls game that I like. That would get me into the series. People are saying Elden Ring is that, so hey, Elden Ring, FromSoft. Look, there's this subscription service here that I'm subscribed to. Why don't you bring your game? Why don't you bring your game over? I don't think it's gonna happen. None of the Souls games are on there. None of the Dark Souls games are on there. I don't think it will happen. But Final Fantasy 12, the Zodiac Age, is just too dated for me. But I guess if you're a Final Fantasy fan to play, a lot of them are on there. Maneater, I don't think there's anything redeemable about it. And this one's hard because like you can download it, play it for like 10 minutes, and then it's like, yeah, play it for 10 minutes. Yeah, it's pretty fun. But then after that, it's just there's nothing really going on with this game. But I'm gonna just say thumbs down. Going Under, I don't even remember what this game was. So Code Vein, oh my gosh, Code Vein. I tried hard to like this one, or just to be good at it. I just wish you could heal more. Souls-like games are just not for me. And so I'm thumbing it down, but man, do I want to go back and play this. If ever, I'm getting too old now. Like, I'm getting older, so I'm not gonna get better at Souls-like games. So that's a thumbs down. I don't know if I can do any rating for Black Desert Online. If I played the Corsair season, I'm thumbing it up. Of course, it was fun. Black Desert, I like always going back to Black Desert. I don't know. If you have a good mindset, you go back in just to play for a little bit and don't do that end game, just endless grinding, enchantment, RNG, fest, and PvP stuff. It's a fun game. I like BDO. It's a good game. July, we always play Diablo 3, thumbing it up. Diablo 3, really fun. It's a good ARPG, pretty classic. Play a couple seasons of that, just like with Path of Exile. Recore, I wouldn't revisit it, so I'm gonna thumb it down, but I recommend downloading it. It might be for you. Just Cause 4, I kind of want to thumb it up because it was really fun. So like, this is gonna break the mold. I'm gonna thumb this up. So I enjoyed my time. I'm probably not coming back to it. But if you're don't have Game Pass, this is a thumb down. Madden, no. I played it a lot, but no. Iron Harvest, I liked my time with it. Played it for 3.5 hours, but I'm not coming back to it. So I think the style of game, it's like Company of Heroes. I think the style of game, I don't know. I don't think I'm into it as much. But the beauty of Game Pass, man, you play so many different genres. I love it. I love that I get to play all these games without like any kind of like, oh man, like financial commitment outside of Game Pass. Not sponsored outside of Xbox Game Pass. Hey, Xbox Game Pass, you want to sponsor me? Immortal Realms Vampire Wars. I'm gonna thumb this up. I kind of want to get back to it. I think there's just so many games on Game Pass that it just kind of hard to like keep up with these things. Tropico 6. See, the city builder wasn't for me. My time at Portia, there's better things. I couldn't get into it. My friend really likes it. I really tried to get into it. I didn't try hard enough. So I'm gonna thumb that one down. Hollow Knight, not for me again. That's a Souls-like side scroller. It's like two of the genres I have a hard time with combined into one. Let's talk about the game of July. The July game that I played that is absolutely phenomenal. And if I played this when it released, it would be my game of the year. I don't remember what I made game of the year 2019, but Octopath Traveler, double thumbs up. So like Yakuza Like a Dragon and Octopath Traveler have pretty much set the standard of what I expect to be in a JRPG game, right? Excellent combat, excellent music, right? Excellent soundtracks in roaming around and in battle. Wow, Octopath Traveler kills it in this department, all right? Great story, right? Interesting mechanics. These are the things I expect. Like when I look at a JRPG now and I play it, especially turn-based ones, I'm coming into it and being like, you gotta be like Octopath Traveler. You gotta have some things. You may do your own twist, but if you're not on that standard and you're on Game Pass, I'm probably playing you for like an hour and then I'm moving on, right? Like this is one in the game now that I judge things to. It's pixel graphics, but again, another one of those games where the graphics do not really tell you about how great the game is, but the graphic style, it works. It works amazingly. The combat has some really cool mechanics where you have to like break down their guards before you can do some big damage, and different weapons or different elemental abilities will do it. But I highly recommend you play Octopath Traveler. It's a bit of a long game. The only flaw is, well, I really enjoy the character story. I love every single character story. The stories never connect at the end. They just don't go anywhere. There's this thing at the end that you can do, this like boss gauntlet, but I actually the gauntlet is easy. The final boss is insane, classic JRPG difficult. But the stories never connect. If it connected, I mean, like, can I give it higher than double thumbs up if the stories connect? I don't know. I really hope there's another Octopath Traveler or a similar game that's coming out like that, because it is absolutely phenomenal and I highly recommend you play it. And I think it's Decisive Battle number 2 that is amazing, and I love when that one comes up when you're in battles. It is a good time. Wow. Let's get to August. Play a little bit more Red Dead. Yeah, double thumbs up on Red Dead 2. I just went fooled around, explored the rest of the things. The Ascent, I'm thumbing it down. I'm not really big on twin stick shooters, but if it's for you, that's great. Mech Warrior 5, I don't know. I didn't really enjoy that one. Curse of the Dead Gods, nah. Starmancer. Omno. Thumb it up. Really short game. I'd recommend downloading it and trying it out. It's good. Wastelands 3, this game's not for me. Titanfall 2 is also not for me. Wreckfest, also really not for me. A Plague Tale Innocence. This game, you gotta play. This is a really good game. It's only 12 hours, pretty short. Great story, great relationship between the sister and her brother, and kind of their stories on how they go from like these children that, you know, are kind of scared of what's going around them to like them, you know, stepping up, getting courageous, and, you know, taking care of business pretty much. Really kind of gross world with rats and plague and all that kind of stuff, but the graphics are beautiful and the gameplay is not the best, but everything else around it is. And so very much I do recommend you guys play it. A Plague Tale Innocence. That's a double thumbs up for me. A Way Out, if you got a friend to play it with, double thumbs up. Good time. Boyfriend Dungeon, there's just better games. Like there's another one that's coming up that is right now after it. That is just better games. So I'm saying like double thumbs down. Oh no, I'll just do a thumbs down. I don't have that strong of an opinion about this one. It's fun to play it for like an hour, but then play Hades. That's on Game Pass now. Way better, really good roguelike game, and the kind of the lore, just the mythology, the world is really fun to be in this one. The gameplay is fast. It feels great to play it. Really good game. I realized why I was super hyped last year. It is an amazing game. Highly recommend you play it. Another one of those games where like if you're not at Hades level, there's a lot of games that come out with like those hack and slash kind of roguelike games, and if they're not at Hades level, I'm like, why am I playing this, right? So another standard game here of like keeping up with the standard. Like, hey, if you're not like Hades, right? Or if you're not like Octopath Traveler, and we got Game Pass, I'll play it for like 30 minutes to an hour, and then I'm moving on to the next game, right? The beauty of Game Pass. All right, another cool game. Another cool game that I would definitely not buy if it wasn't on Game Pass, but I'm double thumbing it up because I got a chance to play it. Psychonauts 2. It's a really, really cool game. The level design on these ones, super creative, going into people's minds. One is like a casino, and it just, I don't want to say too much about it because I want you guys to go play it. It's just a really, really fun experience. Great writing, great dialogue, awesome story, and just the levels. It's just, everyone is different. The mechanics, there's another game on this list that's kind of similar. The mechanics aren't as involved as those. There's not a new mechanic every level, but it's just, the gameplay is probably the weakest element. But the experience of this game is really great. I highly recommend you check it out. So Psychonauts 2, double thumb up for me on that one. Let's go with September games. I gotta revisit. I don't know why. I think it was my friend was playing Witcher 3. I went back to Witcher 3. Witcher 3 is a great game. Play it. Company of Heroes 2. This is another one similar to Iron Harvest. I don't know if I'm into this style of game. All right, Final Fantasy 13. I am actually gonna thumb this up. There's the other two are on Game Pass now. I think Lightning Returns just entered Game Pass, and I do want to revisit this one when I get the time. I really, really do want to revisit it, so I'll hopefully get a chance to play it. There's just so many games. 12 minutes, I'm gonna thumb it up. I finished it. I played, it's only 4 hours. It's pretty short. If you got this thing, go ahead and download it and try it out. Get it on a deep sale. I don't want to say, it's like in between a thumbs down and a thumbs up. If it's on, you got Xbox Game Pass, thumbs up. Play it. If you don't, get it on sale. It's an enjoyable kind of like top-down point-and-click kind of adventure thing, or a murder mystery type, solving a kind of a time loop. I love time loop things, so of course I'm gonna play a time loop game. Chris Tales, I'm gonna thumb it down. I think I forgot exactly why I stopped playing. I think I couldn't turn off the controller rumble, and the keyboard and mouse and keyboard controls were just pretty bad. And so I do kind of want to revisit it, but I probably won't get a chance to. Backbone, I'm gonna thumb this one down. It's just not really, didn't really grab me as much. Craftopia, there's better ones. The Artful Escape, I just couldn't get into it. I don't know, I couldn't get into it. But I'm not double thumbing it down. So like, if you're into it, you could get into it, but I'm a guitarist too, and so like it's kind of weird. I don't think I have the time to go back and revisit it. I played it for like half an hour and I just couldn't get into it. Skatebird is just that. Skatebird is, don't play that one. Lost Words Beyond the Page, pretty artistic game, kind of two styles. When you're in the book diary, a portion of the game, wow. Yeah, the style they chose, it's great. The narration, really well done. Even the live gameplay, when it gets into like the world and the side-scrolling stuff, it's okay, but it's not the best game ever. But the story on this one is what carries it. It's emotional. If you ever dealt with any kind of loss of a grandparent or anything like that, I highly recommend you jump into this game. It's pretty short, it's only like 5 hours, and this was a surprise one for me, so I'm double thumbing it up. This one was a surprise that was like the beauty of unsponsored. The beauty of Xbox Game Pass is I would never have played this game without it, and I really, it's quite the game. I highly recommend you play it. I enjoyed my time a lot with that one. Medieval Dynasty, I'm gonna thumb it up. If I had time, this is a hard one. I'm gonna thumb up because if I had time, I'll probably come back to it. Raji, an ancient epic. I'm gonna thumb it down. There's just, Hades is better, and I couldn't really get into this one. Crown Trick. I kind of don't remember. I think this was the grid-based one. Battletech, I'm gonna thumb it up. I do want to come back to this game. Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition. Can't really give it a rating, but I'm thumbing it down because it's not on Game Pass anymore. Lemnis Gate, don't even bother. Dandy Ace, I'm thumbing it down. Honestly, Hades is on Game Pass. Why aren't you playing Hades? Just play more Hades. So September, before the big game that hits that's not on Game Pass, I finally did it. Tales of Berseria. I have finished the game and I love it. So Tales of Arise came out and I'm like, oh, I can't in good conscience, especially because it's Game Pass here. I can't in good conscience buy a $60 game if I did not finish the previous one that I've been trying every single year's played video, bringing it up, can't get into it. So this time, put my best foot forward and wow. I finally understand the combat with the different, where you have to like look at their weaknesses and then change your arts to match it. And man, I enjoyed this game a lot. Oh, I played it another 30%. I was like halfway through the game, total of 62. This one's on Steam, not on Game Pass, unfortunately. But man, double thumbs up, Tales of Berseria. I absolutely love it. The combat is so much more fun than I gave it credit for. I love the character interactions, right? Great story. Great ending to the story. I'm so glad I came back to this game and played it. And man, Tales of Berseria is so good. I highly recommend it now, and I'm so happy I finally finished the game. I'm just like, yeah. And so, yeah, I still haven't played Tales of Arise, but I really do want to play Tales of Arise. So, Tales of Arise, just, there's a subscription service. All right, so the big game of September and October, New World, that's on Steam, and I liked it. I thought it was fine. I'm thumbing it up. I played it a lot, but I'm not coming back. I don't know if I'm ever coming back. But if I played it in 191 hours, I got thumb it up. Not double thumbing it up. I'm thumbing it up. By the time you get to 60, man, the game sucks. But the journey there, it's about the journey. The journey there was incredible. Honestly, like, if you're getting into New World now, I would even say double thumbs down to a certain degree, because the best parts of New World were the MMO surge of tons of people playing it, a lot of people in the world, a lot of things going on, competing for territories, you know, competing for resources. All of that was in the game. It's huge community stuff, and like, I don't think there's server merging anymore, so there's dead worlds out there. But the crafting, it was an enjoyable kind of grind of, you know, how it typical way it goes. The sound effects of, you know, after mining ore, cutting down trees, hearing somebody else's pickaxe in the distance, the visuals, it's a beautiful game to run around and explore in. The combat's okay, it's not the shining bit of it, but just exploring the world, it's a lot of fun. It's a new world, right? Yeah, it's one of those games that, man, this game could be amazing. And it's so much fun to play it, but you get after a month and it's like, there's nothing left there. Don't rush to level cap. I think I made that mistake where my guild was getting more into endgame stuff, and I wasn't quite at max cap yet, and so I kind of rushed it with town board quests. Wish I didn't, because once I hit 60, server merges, people left, complicated stuff happens. I have a whole bunch of stuff. Everybody has a whole bunch of stories about New World that are really fun. So let me know in the comments below if you want my New World stories and how I was governor for a day and led the city to ruin before switching hands. Mainly on October, I was playing New World, but there's a couple of games I played. Back 4 Blood, Left 4 Dead games are just not for me, and I don't think there's anything. And I played for like half an hour with my friend, and I'm like, nah, I'm done. Outriders, I want to double thumb it down, but I'm just going to single thumb it down, because if you can tolerate the fade to black every time you go into your menu in your inventory, maybe this game is for you. I cannot. I am a Game Pass user now, so if a game has any kind of flaw, I'm on to the next game. November, big game. All right, Forza Horizon 5, double thumbs up. This game, I played it for 50 hours. I can't believe it. I don't really play racing games. I'm not into cars that much. I'm a homebody. I'm a hermit. I stay at home all day, right? Like this, I don't drive. I'm never into fast cars and all that stuff. But man, this game really grabs you and gets you like super into, like, if you like, you know, progression and seeing numbers fly up everything you do, so hit a fence, you get points. Some people were making fun. I loved it. I'm like, oh, I'm totally into it. I'm in it. I'm like, I loved it. I absolutely loved my time with this. And the great part about it too, my friend played it too, so we did some you know, co-op together with us with like the races and stuff. I guess the only thing that I kind of like, do racing games not do this anymore? Where's like the quick match? Like just quick match, jump into a race with just randos, right? Like where is that? Is that not a Forza thing? But the rest of it is really great because you got the open world you can explore and do like those drift challenges and just drive around like a crazy maniac. And then you got the races and a whole bunch of different styles of races, and it's in Mexico, and it's like great, and it's just fun. It got me into racing games. That's why it gets a double thumbs up. All right, It Takes Two, double thumbs up. Now this is the one I was talking about with like Psychonauts 2. Doesn't have different gameplay for every dude. Like It Takes Two, I think that like, everyone was like, they had a board meeting, and he's like, something to Oscar. I keep these PG, yo. Okay. But that guy, he's like in there, he's like, oh, give me your ideas. Every single idea they said, passed. There are so many mechanics in this game, it blows your mind. When you think the game is over, here's 12 more different mechanics. Every single level has one. Really well done game. If you got somebody to play with, you got to play it, right? Like either your friendship will get stronger or you'll never speak to each other again. But It Takes Two, it really does take two. Unless you're one of those speedrunners that were doing it themselves, and I was just like, really great game. San Andreas, it was only on cloud gaming, so Mortal Shell, again, not a Souls game that I could get into. Football Manager 2020. Who's this game for? Oh my god, I was so bad. I lost the match that like against the backups by like 10 points. Tales of Arise came out, Ys or YS9, Scarlet Nexus, a lot of these games, JRPG stuff came out, and I'm like, I got Game Pass, I'll get whatever comes on Game Pass. Huge surprise, Scarlet Nexus showed up on Game Pass. Wow, loved it. Oh my god, like this is another game like where I probably, if I paid for one of them, I would have paid for Tales of Arise. I would have got that game. But I would not have gotten Scarlet Nexus. And oh my goodness, like this coming on Game Pass, not sponsored. Oh, it blew my mind, right? It was one of the only games I can remember, maybe since Mass Effect, I forget what other game that I've done this for, where I replayed the game twice because it actually had, like Nier Automata, right? You play it like 3 times, but that's like the full story. So this game, you can play it twice with each protagonist. And yeah, it changes a little bit. You got to see their side of it. I kind of wish they blended it a bit more, and they kind of forced you to play it with Yuito's story first and then Kasane. I did play with Yuito first. If you haven't played Scarlet Nexus, play Yuito's storyline first. It is more put together and it makes more sense because you're like this. He's the surrogate for the world, right? So you'll be like you're following his story. He's the central protagonist for that part. Where Kasane is kind of like is coming into this world already knowing a lot of the things that are happening, and so it's a little bit more jarring if you start with her, in my opinion. So I kind of wish they forced you to do Yuito's first and then Kasane, like the way I did it, and then kind of really focused in those interactions where they merge those two stories together. But I'm still double thumbing it up because the combat is exciting, it's fast paced, and it gets super fun at the end when you have all of the companions unlocked. You get all of the abilities ready to go. You have pretty much 8 abilities that you're doing with like that brain connection, SAS. It's absolutely fun, amazing experience. There's a lot of strategy to it, even though it's like fast paced on which abilities to use. If you're knowing what you're doing, you got the right abilities going on, chaining your abilities together in order to keep going and keep them recharging itself. You can like chain it to a certain point where you're just demolishing everything on the screen, and it just, you feel like this power creep of like, yeah, I got powerful by the end of this game. So that part's great. I really enjoyed the story on this one. Sure, they had some budget restraints. I'm like, this game could have been insane. I'm still double thumbing it up, but it could even be even better if they had. You could feel the budget restraints when you're playing this with like the cutscene stuff, to be like they could have done a full like thing with the cutscenes, but they kind of had to sacrifice something. And just like, I'm glad they were able to release it. This game also has those companion missions, talking to them, giving them gifts, seeing your hideout just get more and more filled with things as you're gifting them different things you're finding in the world, the upgraded system, all of those kind of things. This one, really enjoyable JRPG. Another game that I would be kind of like thinking about when I'm playing other ones, to be like, hey, how good is this compared to Scarlet Nexus? And one of those kind of things, to be like, hey, this game, I actually really enjoyed playing it. Played it for a total of 55 hours, about 30 with Yuito's, about 20 with Kasane. So let's get to December. December was a different kind of month. Not a lot of big releases, not a lot of heavy hitters, and you'll see why, because in January, it got crazy, and it's still going crazy, dude. Dude, this year, the last few months, oh my goodness, the games, dude, Guardians of the Galaxy, I mentioned that, right? It's coming out tomorrow. Who's gonna edit this video for me while I go play Guardians of the Galaxy? But there's two great games that I played in December. But let's just go real quick through these. Exile 1 wasn't for me. Mind Scanners wasn't for me. So Unpacking, I'll thumb it up. Pretty chill, pretty relaxing game. Surprising, actually, how it kind of catches you off guard. I'm like, oh yeah, maybe moving's not so bad. It's kind of seeing her life through the different apartments and places that she's gone to. So you see the little items that she decided to keep, and ones that have left to the wayside, right? Undungeon, My Friend Pedro, Surgeon Simulator 2, Mist, Into the Pit. With them and all those down, they just weren't for me. All right, don't kill me, but the Halo Infinite campaign. Halo's just not for me, guys. Halo's just not for me, so I'm thumbing it down. It's just not for me. I just played it for like 6 hours. I don't know. It's just, there wasn't enough here that really kind of drew me. But I'm like, if you like Halo, it's great. I mean, it's more Halo. So, yeah. So my friend got really into Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Breakpoint. The broken game of Breakpoint. But they got a Wildlands mode, so take all the gear progression and garbage they put in it and just take it and toss it, and it's a good time. Yeah, let's get to the two games that were really good in December, and one of them is The Forgotten City. Really good game, another game that I would not have played if it wasn't on Game Pass, not sponsored, and really great. I like this one. It's another time loop game, done really well. Don't want to talk too much about it or show you too much about it, because I think it's really good to experience it. If you liked Skyrim and the more dialogue kind of parts of Skyrim, or like the puzzle solving bits, this is kind of like that, but a little bit more focused. And it's pretty much repeating the same day, trying to solve the mysteries, helping people out to unlock different things. And I like this one a lot. I had a really good time with it. I really hope they make something else. Like the indie devs that did this, because it was a mod on Skyrim and now it's its own game, and man, it's a really good time. Great dialogue, it's a great story. It's really satisfying when you're solving these puzzles and figuring out different things to do. It's a really good time loop game. I think it's one of the better time looping games, like the repeat the day games that I played. So I highly recommend The Forgotten City. Now, here's a game that I would not have played if it wasn't for Game Pass, called The Last Stop. And I'm double thumbing it up. I actually really like this game. It's just pretty much you're like watching a show and you're picking choices, and you're not really doing very much gameplay, but you're kind of just like part of these stories, these characters' story, and you're picking how they decide certain conversations. Sometimes it's the same choice on all of them. They do that little joke where it's like yes, 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 like the one we do with Fallout 4, where it's like everything means yes. But I really enjoyed the story in this one. I don't know, like sometimes when you play a game, it just kind of clicks with you, and you're like, hey, I'm enjoying it. I can't really put my finger on it why, but it's like the story, the characters, their interactions with each other, right? The very limited gameplay, but I was enthralled by the game. I was kind of taken in by it, and I really enjoyed the ride. Like, I had a good time with it. It just came right at the right time. Could call it a palate cleanser game. I know, not a great review of Last Stop, but I highly recommend you try this one out. Maybe not buy it full price, because I'm not sure how many people. For me, I actually really liked it. I was very surprised by it. And that in alone is like the beauty of the unsponsored, the Xbox Game Pass. Just you get to play all these different genres and stuff. I said I was gonna say PC Game Pass, but I keep saying Xbox Game Pass. It just Sable wasn't for me. One Step from Eden wasn't for me. This one, wow, difficulty curve. I had no idea what's going on with this game. So if you can put the time in it, go for it. Ring of Pain wasn't really for me. So I'm thumbing that one down too. The Good Life, I'm gonna thumb it down because I'm probably not gonna come back to it, but I almost want to thumb it up because it just kind of has this really unique, charming feel to it where people turn into cats. Before we leave, it might be for you, but it's not for me. Thumbing down Tainted Grail. I don't think that one was for me either. I don't know if there's any redeeming quality with Humankind. This is a weird one to double thumb down, but this is not enjoyable. I did not have a good time playing that one at all. Origami 2. This one's co-op. Maybe if you had friends. Subnautica just wasn't for me. I'm sorry, guys. Let's talk about the game I ended the year with, and that I mainly finished in 2022 in January. Another genre that I wouldn't have played without Game Pass. The light novel, visual novel, point and click, adventure, whatever, mystery game. AI The Somnium Files. Double thumbing it up. Really enjoyed this one. I am into the visual novel now. I want to play more of them. Another one has showed up on Game Pass that I still need to get into. I wouldn't have played this without Game Pass, and it was a really good time. There's a really fun running jokes about him not remembering the name of a detective. I don't want to say too much about this one either because I don't want to really spoil too much of it. There's branching paths, different directions you can take in the story until you fill in all of the pieces that unlock more branches to get to the true ending. I really like that mystery solving bit of it, trying to, who did this, who did that. When it got to the end, I was kind of like, oh, okay. Like, I kind of wish they did it differently, but then I thought about it a bit more. I'm like, yeah, no, I'll enjoy it. Like, I think that was a clever way to do it, even though it's like one of those things where I don't want to spoil too much of it. So AI Somnium Files, it really, like, Game Pass up until the last bit of the year got me into a new genre, and I'm looking forward to play more visual novels. Yeah, so that was like the games I played in 2021. Quite a lot of games. This video is really long, and I did really want to get into the 2022 games, and I probably will, but just wanted to say, Yakuza series, game of the year, so many great games. My whole perspective on Game Pass, on how I play games, has changed because of Game Pass. I barely buy games anymore, only if it's games I really, really wanted to get on Steam, especially because I'm on the wait list for the Steam Deck. I'm Q1, so the next week or the following week I'll get my email to order it. So now I have even more incentive. It's gonna be a weird thing, like, it's on Game Pass, but I want to play it on the Steam Deck, so we'll see kind of how that goes. And if Game Pass goes on Steam, ooh, there's rumblings on that. Let's see if that goes anywhere. But wow, yeah, incredible year. Just really, Game Pass has changed a lot on how I perceive and play games. But yeah, before we go, if you want to stick around, if you don't, then thank you for watching up to this point. I hope you got some insight onto Game Pass, and if you have Game Pass, if I pointed you in a direction of any games to play that you thought would be interesting. So yeah, thank you for your time. But let me get into what I've been playing this year and why I haven't made this video yet. So I finished AI Somnium Files, obviously. So I finished that mainly this year, so that's double thumbs up. Gear Tactics, Riftbreaker, Age of Empires 4. I'm thumbing all those down. Just they weren't for me. Rainbow Six Siege Extraction. Uplays has some Game Pass games now. Kind of crazy, right? But double thumbs down. Dicey Dungeons, thumbing it up, pretty good. Astria Ascending, I'm double thumbing this down. Play Octopath Traveler. Everspace 2, it's not for me. Sleeping Dogs is a game I played on Steam, so this is not a Game Pass game. I'm thumbing it up. It's pretty fun. It has pretty cool combat. God of War, also a Steam game. I'll thumb it up. You're like, where's the double thumbs up for God of War? It just didn't click with me as much as Horizon Zero Dawn and Days Gone did. I don't know. This is my first God of War game, so I don't know if I'm into that series as much. I don't know. There's just something that didn't really click with me as much in the game. I will admit, towards the end of the game, the combat got a lot more fun. Atreus had a lot more abilities. Kratos had a lot more abilities as well, different ways to approach things. But I think the doing it as one take, the one shot, you know, no cuts, right, with the camera, it felt super pretentious to me. There's the here we come with the I can't see your downvotes anymore, so good luck with that. I felt it was too pretentious. It didn't add anything to it. For me, when playing it, it took away a lot from the story versus adding to it, where I was just like, I want to see the turnaround. I want to see the reactions the characters are having, and they're lingering on different characters. And the fast travel was just a nuisance. I'm on an NVMe, like the thing is loaded. Why do I have to listen to this dialogue? Give me at least the choice if I want to. And so for me, it wasn't the greatest game ever, but it's a good time. I don't know. Oh, and I had to go download a field of view mod, so that brings it a few points down just on me having to go in and have to force like a field of view. And so that's the other thing with not cutting the camera. It just like, oh no, we can't change it because it's baked in. It's just like, no man, it's too punched in. It's too console. I think that's the other thing about with God of War. It's the most console feeling of the three, with Horizon Zero Dawn and Days Gone and God of War. Horizon Zero Dawn, that's the best version of Horizon Zero Dawn is on PC. Days Gone, the best version is on PC. For God of War, I don't know. I think you have to be in that console mindset of being like, hey, this is how these games go. And for me, I couldn't really get that into it. And so, yeah, I don't know. I had a good time with it, but I liked Horizon Zero Dawn and Days Gone way more. And so, like, yeah, I don't know if I wouldn't jump right away on Ragnarok. I would see if they're doing one camera again and get it on sale if it ever came on PC. But Ghost of Tsushima, where's that game? All right, so in February, Evil Genius 2, thumb it up, pretty good time. I'm not giving it a double thumbs up because I don't really want to replay it. It got kind of annoying with the micromanagement at the end. A lot of quality of life things this game does not have and that it really does need. But it's pretty hilarious. You're playing an evil genius, obviously from the title. Fallout New Vegas, dude, I don't know, man. It just wasn't for me. It feels a bit dated. Too dated for me. And here's the thing though, I played it before Game Pass got the file management change, where you can now choose where you want to download, where you want to install your games. It's no longer on Windows app. So it might be a thumbs up now that maybe I should go revisit Fallout New Vegas, because now you can download mods on it. But without mods, it was very rough. And so now that you can do mods, maybe I should revisit it. But yeah, we'll have to see. But another game, because of Xbox Game Pass, I would not have played, The Lake. I almost want to double thumb it, but I'm going to single thumb it just because there's a certain gameplay mechanic things and some clunkiness to the game that doesn't quite raise it to be like, oh, you must play it. But if you need a palate cleanser, you want to deliver some mail, going around in a circle in a lake, it's a good time. It's pretty quirky. It's fun. It's super, super chill and relaxing. So if you need a palate cleanser and you've been playing a lot of like action-packed games, The Lake is a really nice one to just get in and deliver some mail. And yeah, I really like the voice acting for the protagonist, and some of the characters' voice acting wasn't on par. But no, it was pretty cool. Just like, you know, you're experiencing like kind of that, you know, city, you know, office, you know, doing kind of crazy like work person going into this rural kind of like lake, kind of, you know, like where you go to like a getaway for cabins in a lake, like and go to Clear Lake or something, and you kind of living this much slower paced society, slower paced town pretty much, or village. There's not a lot of people there, and yeah, you kind of slow down, taking the air, and if you're like into it, and you know you're looking at the sights as you're driving around and delivering the mail, it's a good time and really good palate cleanser. Yeah, we're getting to the end of the list. This is a game that is on Game Pass day one, Total War Warhammer 3. But I bought it on Steam still, because why wouldn't I buy it where all the other ones are, just in case the DLCs get all messy. I made sure I just want to have all that on Steam. But on Game Pass, this is must-play stuff here. This is must-play stuff. I can't double thumb it up yet until Immortal Empire comes out. I played for 70 hours. But man, dude, like, it's worse than Eye of the Vortex. It's super time gated. You gotta rush. It really interrupts your conquest with the portal mechanics and the chaos gods. but man, quality of life that changes with diplomacy, right? The quality of life changes just in terms of like you can highlight other armies to see how you match up to them. The new factions, the new units, all of my favorite combination now, Elemental Bears and Ice Guard. They're so cool. You got this icy feel to them as you see with this mist. It's beautiful. It's amazing. And I went back. I finished my Kislev campaign, and I wanted to play some Slanesh and do some seduction and get people to do what I want them to do. And I was having a good time until the portals show up again. And the portals showed up, and I alt F4'd. And I'm like, no, I'll wait till Immortal, because I want to try the different factions, but I don't know. It's just like you're doing your thing. You're playing these mechanics. I'll probably review this one again. I'll be playing it more this year when Immortal Empires comes out. You'll probably hear more about it in the next yearly video. All right, and a quick mention of a game I'm playing right now, Mass Effect Legendary Edition, Mass Effect 1. I've been playing it through, way more dated than I thought. Mass Effect 1 used to be my all-time, I'm like, oh, it's the best one of the series. Maybe not anymore. The gameplay, I think because of the biotic gameplay is pretty bad. I'm playing Sentinel. I never played Sentinel before. The tech abilities are cool. The biotic abilities, a bit rough, but the dialogue is still great. Story is still great. Having a good time. I also played a little bit of Lost Ark last night, but then I switched back to Mass Effect. I'll get into Lost Ark eventually. I'll get back on that. I only play the technical alpha, and so I'll get back into that. But yeah, guys, so that is the video. That is Game Pass in a nutshell this year. Really different experience. Dude, so much stuff is coming out on, and now it's just like, as being like, I'm a patient gamer now. If it's not on Game Pass, probably just skip it or wait. Like there's unless Ghost of Tsushima shows up out of nowhere on PC. Like that's the kind of like, you know what's up? Like there's like only very few games that I will go out and purchase now, especially now after Total War Warhammer 3, when I was like, I could have just waited until Immortal Empire came out, but there's no way. How would you know that it's like I have no patience. So I didn't learn completely, but the amount of games that I haven't bought is just crazy, and the amount of games I played has increased so much. And the best things about Game Pass, of course, not sponsored, the different genres and games that you would never have played before, you get to play them, and it was really quite the really cool experience this year. All right, guys, that's the end of the video. Like and subscribe, blah 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 blah. The video recording, this took up way too much time, but all right, until next time. Hopefully I got this all set up. I have this all set up. Let me know how you guys thought of the setup this time around. With try to do something a little bit different here with a little background lighting. You can barely see the blue light here at all, so I might have to do something more to bring up this side. But that's the video. Man, this is gonna take forever to edit, so hopefully I get to edit it and not play Guardians of the Galaxy too much. But that's all for me, guys. Thank you for watching. This was a long one. I didn't want it to be this long, but what can you say? 123 games plus the 2022 games. Okay. Well, until next time, guys, take it easy, and I'll see you later.